So I'm delighted to say I've got James Rushton of Birmingham Live and Claret and Blue podcast. How does it feel to be on a massive podcast today?
Yeah, it's in the big leagues now, isn't it? This is what it's all about. This is what I've been dreaming of, mate.
Yes.
But all seriously, it's like fantastic work by yourself, Ryan,
Cool.
Sebastian.
Yes, thanks, mate. Just happy that you've come on, and like everybody, we're all looking at Birmingham Live's posts all of the time and seeing what you've been writing and all these little rumours that hopefully might be coming in. So you're doing a good job.
Thank you. You're the first to say that.
So yeah, I want to ask you some questions about you to start with. So what were your earliest memories of supporting Aston Villa?
Oh, to be fair, it was weird with me and Villa because like I'm from a Villa mad family, right? All my uncles support it, my granddad supports it, my nan's Villa mad, my dad, my mum, my oldest uncle, on my dad's side supports Villa. But my paternal granddad, who I never got to meet, was a Baggies fan. He was from Smethwick, but all his children were Villa fans, and he's like even the daughters mad Villa fans. So the second they moved to Great Bar, they all became Villa fans. They were just never even thought of Albion in their head, so they left him on his own to be an Albion fan. But on my maternal side, it's always been Villa. They grew up in Aston. My granddad was literally born a stone's throw from Villa Park. My mum, they all lived in a house with a little hole in the roof in Aston.
Yeah.
It was weird. I never really supported them. I had kits and stuff until the season after the 2002 World Cup. Hated football before that.
Really?
But the World Cup and seeing England and getting knocked out in the quarterfinal, and I didn't know how to pronounce Ronaldinho's name right. I used to call him Ronaldo Hoyo and Ferry right. Henry, Thierry Henry. But sticker albums, stuff like that got me into football. And 2002 World Cup, never looked back. It was always Villa since then. I had that Rover kit, I think the year after, maybe the season, 2 seasons after that. But I had the Rover V-neck, and my dad worked at Rover as well. So it was really nice having that. And then he was a toiler, so he worked instead of getting paid. Like he said, "Can you buy my son a season ticket and he can go with you?" And that was because we couldn't really ever afford. Like now we can, but like back in the day, like to think of ever having a season ticket was a no. It was like half season ticket at max. She had this book. My first season ticket was a book of tickets, right? And half it was a full season ticket, but I only had half because I bought the half season ticket, so you could see all these matches. He's thinking, I didn't even get to go to half of these matches, man. Since then I didn't look back. I couldn't. When I went to uni, I couldn't afford a season ticket, but the second I could get a season ticket back on it, 2015 to 16 I think was the first season we got relegated back in after a few years away. But yeah, I've been a season ticket holder for most of my life. I think it's been a drama, but it's been amazing. But that's never looked back since then.
Yeah, it's just a roller coaster all over, isn't it, sporting Villa? So for anybody that doesn't know you, doesn't know where you work, tell us a little bit about that.
So after university, I thought you get a job, right? You just get a job given to you, because you've been to uni. Not the case, especially in 2014. I was on the dole and stuff, and I got pretty sad. I couldn't get a job. They wanted me to work free in Argos, and I was like thinking, sod that, mate. So I asked a blog, I've got to do something right. I've got to do something positive. I asked a blog, could I write for them? I asked loads of blogs, can I write for you?
Yeah. I
started writing for this 90-minute thing. I didn't really like that because I was writing about Villa and they wanted Man United, Arsenal. Yeah. But 7,500 to Holt looked for a Villa writer, and I was like, I got to get on this. I harassed the geezer, Aaron, who ran it. I was like, you please just let me in. And he did, and he let me in. And he taught me about writing. They taught me about, using your voice, having tone, using humour, stuff like that. And, I eventually graduated to running that site, and it was genuinely the best time of my life running that site. I had so much fun. We didn't take it too seriously for our sins. We got hammered a lot. We got a few angry calls from the club, but it was just so fun. Just wailing on the club. Just going back and forth, being really negative and being really positive, and just fully being a fan, just getting carried away, getting biased. Some of the things I've probably written about Blues, I'm going to come to regret. I'm absolutely sure. I had to cover them in a press conference. I had to cover their new manager in the press conference, and I'm just thinking, bloody hell, you never thought this was going to happen, did you? You never thought you'd be speaking to the Blues manager as a Villa fan, right? But like then the Birmingham Mail picked me up after 6 or so years of running that blog, and even then it was like I just don't know how it happened, because I honestly never thought anyone would take a chance on me seriously. I genuinely never believed I'd have my byline on the Birmingham Mail, let alone even as a guest blogger. You know what I mean? I just thought I'm going to have so much fun as a blogger, and just get carried away. So I've had to apologise for a few things I've done in the past, but that's natural, right? You get carried away as a fan, and you're allowed to do so. Whereas now at the Birmingham Mail, I cover a lot of clubs, Burton, Forest, Derby, Blues, Albion, Wolves, Villa, Villa the main one now, of course. But like, now you've got to be a lot more rational, a lot more fair. But I haven't had to change at all, so it's good fun. So now I cover Villa kind of daily alongside Ash Priest and a lot of good people writing about Villa.
So what's it like writing for a team that you actually love?
Hard. It's really hard work, actually. I prefer being able to write about Blues stuff and Albion stuff, because that balance comes naturally. Because as a Villa fan, right, you've always got to jump into another mindset. But Villa's really hard because you can get carried away so easily, and that's wrong, right? Because you don't have to be neutral, but you have to be a lot more balanced and take a lot. I can
imagine that's difficult.
Yeah, it is, and I think, with Ash being a mad Villa fan himself, like, I feel like I don't want to go in all the way, because Ash is the club writer, right? And you don't want to be that fan. You don't want to be that massive fan as well sometimes, because you think two massive Villa fans writing about the club, and sometimes you need that to be pulled back a little bit. Sometimes you need, like how I apply it to Albion or another club, sometimes you need to be pulled back a little bit. So it is hard when you see the rumours as well. Because we've got a job. My job is to, you have to aggregate all this stuff. You have to get it into one place. So sometimes you see a rumor and you're like, bloody, never in a million years is that happening. But because it's appeared somewhere, my role is as a trends writer. I'm not a Villa writer. As a trends writer, you have to capture that, because it is read, right? And people don't know about it until it hits the Birmingham Mail sometimes. So it's hard having to pull yourself back sometimes.
I could imagine, because I think I did a little episode of when we drew to Everton, and at the end of it, we were literally talking about the Championship players that we were signing. We were just so down about it, and it's sometimes, like you say, it's difficult to keep your emotions sort of in check, isn't it? So, what would you say your future career aspirations are?
I'd love to be focusing on Villa, or, to be fair, if it was any club, if it was like Hull City, or Middlesbrough, anywhere, I'd love to just follow a single club and be writing about a single club, because you can just apply so much time. Like my experience with Villa, I can name you a lot of Forest players, not on the spot, a lot of Baggies players, a lot of Derby players. But I can reel off Villa, the youth team. I don't know who's in Nottingham Forest youth team, you know what I mean? So sometimes when you wrote lines up and you're covering another club, it can be a bit, I know it's a privileged situation. I'm not sitting here moaning at all, because my boss is going to be watching and bring me into the office about it. But you've got so much expertise with Villa in the Birmingham clubs, rather than say anywhere else. So to write about a single club will be a dream, because then you can go, right, if it's not Villa, sod that off, get that knowledge, apply what you've learned about Villa to another club, whether it's Hull, Middlesbrough, Celtic, Rangers, whomever. You can just go all in on that club. So to be the guy going all in on a club would be, a dream for a lot of people. I guess a dream come true. Again, I never imagined I'd be in this situation talking about this stuff. So it is a pinch yourself moment. Sometimes it is, never not humble about it. I know I don't appear like that sometimes, but it is a pinch yourself moment.
Yeah, no, I think it's brilliant, and like I said in the intro, like what you're doing is really good, to be fair. So, talking to James as an Aston Villa fan now, then, so how are you feeling now? Obviously, we haven't signed anybody yet, but how are you sort of feeling going into a new season now?
I said this. I think I was on the total villain, and I thought, as someone who likes an adventure, as an explorer, I was kind of thinking, the chance to go to Wycombe away, right about that would have been funny. But then again, you pull yourself back, you go, Premier League's a business, man. You can't be arguing. Again, like you're saying, you're considering Championship players, you're considering the financial impact of relegation. couldn't care less about that now, mate. We're in the Premier League, so I'm frankly buzzing. The players we're linked to, you see the names yourself, like Origi comes out now, Trippier. It's amazing, man. It's a world away from what I thought would happen, which was relegation. Calm rebuild under the same manager, kind of blooding those youth prospects, which is exciting. Carney Chukwuemeka, Louis Barry coming through, or the ones who signed like Swinkles or the Bogard kid, and Shakpo who might be coming through. That could have been exciting, right? But this is a whole different world of exciting, which is buying really cool players.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I think you're right, because I did read today on Twitter that I think it was something from The Athletic that was basically saying, Jack Grealish's contract could mean that the wages are going to go higher, which means the type of player that will be attracting is going to go higher. And I know we had a bit of a mare with Randy Lerner, with all that type of stuff. And I think maybe that's why these transfers might be taking a bit more time, because the level of player we're trying to attract to Villa and the whole aspect of getting them in the door and the contracts, and we're just offering a lot more now, aren't we? So if I could say to you, you could sign one player for Aston Villa, who's the one that you really want us to get over the line?
It's got to be a striker for me. I don't care who it is. Edward, I'd say Edward, because I know a lot of people get put off by playing in the Scottish Premier League. Van Dijk, Henrik Larsson done the business, you know what I mean? They ain't bad players at all. No. Edward and Dembele came in before Edward. He's doing the business as a template there for success. I know kind of average players can put up big stats in there, but Celtic they ain't looking at average players, are they, when you consider their history? Like throughout the years, the type of player and even over at Rangers, Morelos, Ryan Kent, good players are coming through there, really good players coming through there. And I know we look at championship players and kind of go like Ollie Watkins, or even when it comes to Ben Rama, people say a bit unproven. I'm all in on Edouard, man. I really am. Even if we was to get Morelos, like if it was on the other end of the thing, I'd be all in, because those two players, brilliant. I mean, people get put off by the fee. Man, it ain't my money. I don't care. Edouard, I'm all in on Edouard, mate.
But that's what I was saying. Just though, like, we're attracting a different level of player, and for us now to get better, we've got to go up that level and pay the money. And I think with you. I think he would be a brilliant signing for me. I would like Watkins, because I think he's more versatile as well. So he could go out wider, he could go up front as well. But we're talking, we still need players in a lot of different positions as well, don't we? Yeah. We can't just pin all our things on thinking we need a striker, looking like we need a goalkeeper now as well. So, I think we need to be attracting a goalkeeper. So what are your thoughts on the new coaching setup then?
I'm delighted, to be fair. I think, I know Dean Smith came in rightly for a lot of flack during last season. It was a kind of mixed season, weren't it? I mean, it was delightful at the end, probably exciting at the start, but there was a lot of middle stuff. It was absolute doomsday, weren't it? I remember when we lost to Leicester and Watford, I was there opposite. Like, I've only been to 2 matches as a reporter. One was the match we lost at Watford, and that was on, just after Christmas. That was, you're looking at him and it's just like, what's going to come next, This only goes bad, because then Pearson comes in, he's all buzzing, and you think that the vibe is different. But look, Dean Smith said it best himself the other day, didn't he, in that big interview? Says you can't judge the game after, you're not going to give your best thoughts. And what he does, and what O'Kelly, John Terry, Cutler, and now Shakespeare do, is improve players. Inarguably, they have improved every player in this Villa team, including Mings, Louise. Trezeguet kicked on at the end a little bit, didn't he? These players have improved for the most part, haven't they? So, I'm excited. Bring that up a notch next season. Let's see if these players we've got now can step up a gear under Smith now. They've probably got that trust in the coaching staff. Let's see the new players come in, what they can get out of those. Pretty excited, to be fair. Craig Shakespeare, I mean, he speaks for himself. He's a highly rated, highly respected coach, been in the England South title winner, brought in at Watford to fight a big fire. Man, you want that guy on your team, don't you?
You do, definitely. And you are right in what you're saying about, obviously, them, making players better. We saw Douglas Luiz was 100 times better. Trezeguet towards the end of the season, they got better. So, it's just exciting times. So picking up on what you were saying about that Dean Smith interview the other day, he mentioned chances per game, didn't he?
Okay, expected goals.
That's it, expected goals. So expected goals. And I know you're big on this now. So if there's anybody out there that is unsure on what that is, fill us in a little bit.
Right, so I'm not going to claim to be an expert here because I got to be honest. When the stat first kind of, I got introduced to it probably 2016, and it had been around a few years at that time. I hated it. I was like, you can't judge a game. Stats are rubbish.
Yeah,
But expected goals is good for judging trends, right? And goal scores over a season, a good long term stat. Basically, what it means is not all shots are equal. You can have lots of people go, we had 8 shots on target, they had 4. If those 8 shots on target are from the halfway line,
yeah,
right, they're meaningless.
yeah,
So I'd rather have 4 from the penalty spot. It assigns a value to a shot based on the probability of it going in over, some models run thousands and thousands of shots of equal quality. Is it a low header on the 5-yard line? Is it an open goal? Where's the goalkeeper's position?
yeah.
It judges the quality of a shot and assigns a percentage value to that shot. So if you're shooting from the penalty spot, for example, it'd give you 0.75 or 0.6 expected goals, saying 6 times out of 10 that goes in. Whereas a shot on target is just one. It's just one value, and we can't take much from that. So I think expected goals and expected goals against over a season are a great judge of how good our attack is doing and how good our defence is doing. Combine them together, I think you've got a really good measure for judging the long-term performance of a team.
I think it's great. You've definitely filled me in a bit more, because I was watching Smith's interview and I thought I knew what it was, but you're the man. I saw you tweet about it the other day, so you know about it. So I know you're a big gamer. So do you take that into your Football Manager then?
No, I was streaming it earlier, mate. What we do on Football Manager, we play to win. We don't care about no expected goals. We want short passing. We want the triangles and the fluid movement up front. We want. We don't want no long shots, man. We want good goals from the penalty area. So a little bit, yeah. I like that. I used to love long shots. I used to play a lot of Football Manager in 2008 with Stilian Petrov, and we always used to set up the long shot there for glory. Yeah, I guess a little. I like the good football, and that usually comes with what I've learned. Like Leeds and Bielsa looking for high frequency of expected goals to create good chances. So creating good chances is what I'm all about. I'm here to have fun. You know what I mean? Not necessarily to win games. I just want to have fun.
No, that's brilliant. So it's going to finish off on a short, sharp quiz. Okay. So I want you just one-word answers for these questions that I'm going to ask you. Okay. Right. Okay. So, best Villa moment as a fan?
For me?
Yeah.
This isn't a quiz. Like, I'm going to get scored on this.
No, not a quiz, sorry. Just like, on your opinions.
All right, my one's a bit... I change this answer a lot, so people might go back and go, no, you didn't mean that. I think when I went to watch Villa versus CSKA Moscow, in the first leg of the knockouts in the Europa League, because I thought this is where Villa changed for good now. In that match, you saw the fight, you saw them diving and chucking Ashley Young and Craig Gardner to the floor, and I was thinking, hang on, with Villa we mean business, and we scored and we got ourselves back in. It's a Wagner Love game. Like, terrified by him. I'd never look at him the same way again after that game. But that was a highlight. I thought, we can't, like, this is next year, it's going to be the Champions League, you know what I mean? It's a pinnacle for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So, your best player that you've seen in a Villa shirt?
Ashley Young, by far. I mean, Jack Grealish is brilliant, and I saw Benteke, saw a bit of Dwight York as a kid, but the one and Paul Merson, of course, one that comes to mind, because I never saw McGrath or any other kind of legends. I saw a lot of Larson, but Ashley Young, seeing him, when you had him on the pitch, right? When I was a season ticket, when you were a kid, you don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
The guy's a wizard. He could change a game like that. Free kick, dribble across the pitch, do someone over, score from distance. Absolute Hollywood, and I think he was really underrated. Probably not the best Villa player of all time, but in my eyes as a kid, he's why you fall in love with football, man. And why so many people fall in love with through Grealish now and Benteke a few years ago. It's amazing.
Yeah. Ashley Young, he was brilliant. He was just electric, wasn't he? Off your feet.
Yeah, that's the word.
Just loved it. Favourite manager?
There's not been many good ones in my time. I used to love Martin O'Neill.
Yeah.
I liked Houllier. McLeish, I don't know. I was still so mixed about him. I didn't watch that year because I was frustrated at the start, but looking back, I don't really mind. I loved Sherwood. I have to say I loved Sherwood because it was another part of my life where I was kind of getting done with Villa. I was like thinking we're regressing under Lambert, and things weren't going good for him or for the team. Sherwood comes in, and that run was dynamite, weren't it? At the end, except the final, that run surviving, that was dynamite, and probably the best memories any manager has given me. Probably by Dean Smith, and I'd be inclined to say either Smith, O'Neill,
Yeah.
Sherwood for various reasons.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to go O'Neill though, mate. To be fair,
Really? 'Cause I think
yeah,
I'd go Smith personally. I think
I agree.
that's
Yeah,
my vibe. I just think because obviously I was too young to remember like cup wins or anything like that. So for
mm,
me, this is like this. What we're going through now is like a good upward. Hopefully, we're going higher and higher. So to
yeah.
be involved in that is really good. So we've got two more. So your favourite ground doesn't have to be Villa Park.
Give this a good think. I want to give a good answer. I'm going to say. So there's a few choices that could go Hillsborough, Craven Cottage. I like Highbury though, mate. Before they
Really?
moved to the Emirates, I loved Highbury. Watching that when I was getting into football, I'd always look out for Arsenal games. So I was so attracted to their stadium. Like,
Yeah.
remember the clock end and that, and I don't even know if that's called, but there was a clock, weren't there? Just remember it being so congested and such a historic stadium, and I thought such a shame when they moved away. But I guess bygones are bygones. I loved Highbury, mate.
Yeah, it's terrible what they've done to it now. It just looks awful, doesn't it? It's crazy.
That's what happens, don't it? Yeah.
So last one then, your ultimate player.
Wait, what do you mean? So is this all over?
All over. Any decade or whatever. One player that you just like, oh, he's my favourite.
Right, Beckham. No chance.
Beckham.
No chance to anyone. It could have been Owen because I remember before the hamstrings how fast he was and lightning, and watching the Premiership on ITV, right? And he's just banging in goals left, right, and centre. But Beckham was absolute Hollywood. All the reasons I liked Ashley Young, David Beckham probably pipped it a notch. All the stuff he did for England, the narrative of the redemption in '02, kind of coming back, not being used properly, probably been used too much on the wing, probably could have been used a bit more in the middle. But he should have been used as like a Pirlo in the deep line, right in the back of the defensive midfield. Man, I loved him to bits. Honestly, loved him to bits. So probably not the greatest player in the world, but such a legend, so memorable. The moments he made, absolute Hollywood.
No, I'd say it's a real good shout as well. It goes back to in that era then that you're getting into football as well, wasn't it? Like around 2002 and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, mate, thanks for coming on. It's been really good chatting to you.
Yeah, it's been an absolute privilege. Thank you for having me on. It's like I say, you're doing such a good job. So with all the fan podcasts, they're everywhere, aren't they now? When I was doing out with the Hulkcast, it was like just 2 or 3. But like, honestly, I'm buzzing to see so much stuff out there and so much good stuff. Like when I was putting it out, it's just me recording on my own. So it's just amazing to see so many people put out stuff of quality. So again, a privilege. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.